MotoGP leaves the Austrian Spielberg Mountains and heads back to Andalusia. Welcome to MotoGP and the Aragon Grand Prix in beautiful sunny Spain, and it's qualifying ahead of the sprint race later on today. Hello everybody, welcome to qualifying here live on JBMotorsports 2 and JBMotorsports Twitch, and delayed coverage on JB Motorsports. We're live all weekend on JBMotorsports 2, so that's a heads up for all of you back at home as well. We're a few minutes away from the green light going on for qualifying. Let's join Susie Perry and Michael Aberty.
Evolve, Michael, and change. But what a session we just saw then. What did you make of what we saw in terms of what we could see in a moment? Because this Q1 is going to be like a race, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got so many contenders in this session, and you could see the KTM riders were out there pushing from the outset. Brad and Jack and also Pedro Acosta, all three look comfortable. The track's getting better. The sun's really heating up now, so those little patches that were still probably off-putting for the riders will continue to evolve over the next 10-15 minutes. So it is going to be the last person on track, the person who keeps the tyre, but then you risk the yellow flags if you wait for the track conditions to get better. So you've got to get out there and set a banker, but there's so many potentials going through from this Q1 session.
Yeah, and you mentioned the yellow flags, and that is one of the reasons why some of the riders are in Q1, particularly in Air Bastianini. If that lap hadn't gone away yesterday with the yellow flag from Jack crashing, he would have gone through. So he, potentially has the lap to get through today, would you say?
You would imagine he did set a lap good enough to put him through. He is the previous winner round here. He's coming off a double victory at Silverstone and a decent weekend in Austria, which is a track he considers a bit of a bogey track for him. So he needs to put it right. He needs to be in the top 12. So it is the tipping point of your weekend. If he doesn't get through and all of a sudden you're buried in the pack, your chance of standing in the top step's pretty much done and dusted. So these 15 minutes are crucial for Enea Bastianini, but it's not a foregone conclusion. Even though he's on a GP24 and he's fast, it may not happen.
And the reason why Michael is saying that is because there's also Marco Bezzecchi, Fabio Di Gianantonio, Pedro Acosta, Brad Binder, and of course Jack Miller, who crashed yesterday but looked really good in that last session. So all of the KTMs fighting, there's three of them, well, there's four of them, but to go through, and there's only two places, plus the Ducatis. Oh, how are they going to get through? Let's find out. We can go down to the pit lane. Francesco Guidotti, the team boss of KTM, is alongside Steve Day.
Francesco, an unusual weekend here in Aragon. Yesterday morning, things seemed to go well, and even in those conditions just then, good for KTM. But yesterday afternoon, no KTMs inside the top 10. Can you explain what's happening?
Yeah, difficult to explain, but yeah, difficult to accept. But yeah, I mean, we were performing pretty well all the day long till 10 minutes to the end. And then in the time attack, we didn't put everything together. We didn't put our lap together. I mean, potentially we are in the top 10 because the ideal time was 3-4-10 better for Brad and Pedro. But the reality is that we didn't put the lap together, and we are in Q1. This morning, the condition is almost like yesterday morning, because after the rain of last night, it's very slippery and dirty. So this morning was pretty well again. But lap time is low. So let's see when the track is getting better, what we can do.
We can see there's a big gap to Ducati at the moment. They are the team to beat. But last time out in Austria, we saw Pol trying some new parts. How did they go? How quickly will it filter through to the team? He's back in Misano next week as well.
Yeah, as I said, in Spielberg, we're pretty happy about the work we have done with the test team. And Paul will be again in Misano for the wildcard to go ahead with testing with that spec. Monday morning, hopefully the weather will help us to move these specs to the factory riders and go ahead with the development for the rest of the year and next year. So yeah, let's try harder.
Good luck for Q1.
Thank you.
What did you make of those words, Michael?
Work to do at KTM. They never rest, and you know that they're always looking towards the future. It is GP. The 25 machine is going to be an improvement, then 26, and then it's a brand new bike in 27. So yeah, I like the way they work. Obviously, big change in their roster lineup next year. Paul Espargaro working hard as test rider, as is Danny Pedrosa. But yeah, back to the situation at hand. They are under pressure. As Francesco
He
said
didn't
there.
sound very hopeful, actually, did he?
No, I think they know the pace is there, but being able to piece it all together yesterday wasn't possible, and the Ducatis are a tough one when it comes to one-lap time pace. So, yeah, a little bit of pressure for Brad, for Jack, and for Pedro right now.
28-degree track temperature at the moment, so it's starting to creep up, but imperative for Brad Binder we're looking at here, you know, to use this and get through, and obviously for all of them, but the conditions for Jack, I think he would probably hope that they would stay a bit patchy, maybe.
Yeah, for Jack, whenever you've seen him out there in those early laps, he's comfortable. He's one of those riders with a natural feel. He can find the grip in slick conditions. It is a little bit drier, but as Francesco said, the riders are reporting it's greasy. It feels like yesterday morning again, so it's going to continue to evolve. So, yeah, a difficult one to call this session, but pressure on because it is crucial to the rest of the weekend.
If I asked you to call it, though, who would you say?
Well, yeah, I'm going to go Enea Bastianini and Brad Binder.
Those are the calls from the paddock. Let's go into commentary then as we zip down the paddock. Gavin Emmett is alongside Neil Hodgson. Has Neil got any thoughts on this one, Gav?
That's a me. An interesting factor. Hello, everybody. Welcome up to the comms box then. 15 minutes for Q1 here for the Aragon Grand Prix of MotoGP. And the session well and truly underway. Binder, Acosta, Di Giannantonio, Bezzecchi, Bastianini, Miller, Marini, Augusto Fernandez, Rins, Quartararo, Mia and Nakagami all having to go through this session. Big names and only 2 go through. After this, we'll have to see what happens next as well. It's anybody's game here in MotoGP. And that's why we love it. Don't pretend you don't. This is going to be a very interesting session and a very crucial one ahead of qualifying. So let's check in with SHT, who's put in some chats. This might be the toughest Q1 session to predict on the 2 riders to progress into Q2 due to the number of big names in this group. On paper, Bastianini should get through, but I think the Red Bull KTMs look really, really quick. This is a problem, isn't it? Binder and Miller in here. Don't count out Digi and Bezzecchi. Acosta's here too. It's so hard to predict, isn't it, ahead of the first run. Hello to Juan. Hello, Juan. Okay, my 2 predictions going through at the start of this session. Brad Binder and Pietro Acosta. I think they could do it. And if it's not Binder, Bastianini and Acosta. It's such a tricky session, but that's going to make it more fun for us up here in the commentary box as we head down for the first opening lap. Medium front, soft rear tyre for Enea Bastianini as well. Some have gone on that front, some have gone soft front, soft rear. In fact, Pedro Acosta, old medium front, soft tyre, so no news for him. Same actually for his teammate, Augusto Fernandez. They've stayed on that sort of split strategy between the 2. Bastianini ready, pulling that throttle back. First sector 31.8, 31.2 for Acosta. So already Bastianini's back on the deck. Acosta rising up the ranks. SHT saying, Sean says, I'm saying Binder and Di Giannantonio. Good picks. Very good picks, actually, as well. Just be glad that Mark's not in this session. Mark seemed to have had the advantage early on in this weekend's running. As they head venturing back into turn 11 and 12. Second sectors. 31.4 for Quartararo, 31.9 Marini. 31.1s for Acosta and Binder. And 32. Yeah, so 31.1. So it's Acosta and Binder. That's, yeah, see, it's those 2 at the front of the timesheet still. Pedro Acosta down towards turn 16 and 17. 349 kilometers an hour. Bastianini going 340, so there's a large gap already forming. Out of the last corner then, up the straights towards the checkered flag line. What's your opening gambit going to be in Q1? Di Giannantonio Acosta 148.679. Di Giannantonio is second, Quartararo third, Miller goes second, Binder goes third. So it's the other KTM at the moment going through after the first runs. Acosta, Miller, Di Giannantonio, Binder, Quartararo, Augusto Fernandez, Bastianini, Marini, Mia, Nakagami, Bezzecchi. Rins still in the final corner, finding some lap time pace. He's coming up towards the line now. Where does Alex Rins go in the Monster Energy Yamaha into P9? So it's Acosta and Miller, 1-2 at the moment in this session. Alex isn't here either because both Grassini's are automatic into Q2, yeah. Grassini doing really well here this weekend. And there goes Digi, going ahead of... well, is that ahead of Enea Bastianini? It was, yeah. God, it's complicated, this one, isn't it? Binder's up in that first sector by 73 thousandths. Digi's backed out of lap time. One Mir now getting blocked by Binder. The two of them side by side together on the circuit. It's on the inside line into turn 12. There goes Binder. Mir has to lift off and coast. Acosta Miller 1-2 as things stand. This is where the problems start to arise here. 9:35 to go. They'll box, remember, for some ulterior strategic motives. And we'll see where we go from there. Over the line we go again then. New sector times coming under attack. Quartararo goes third on a 1:49.473. Bezzecchi, Fernandez. So Fernandez 6th, Bezzecchi 7th, Nakagami 8th. Binder to 2nd. There's your top two I predicted earlier on in the broadcast. Knew he was going to have the times to come through. So this is going to be quite interesting. This is going to be a fun session. 1:48.679 for Costa. Binder 73 thousandths off the pace. So the top two really are separated by nothing. Bezzecchi's 4 thousandths off. We've got medium front soft rear. Same as Di Giannantonio, who's 33 thousandths of a second up. As they turn in, Digi's going to get his lap time cancelled, spoiled here by Enea Bastianini. Bastianini pulls out and he's angry with himself as well. And Digi's angry at Bastianini for blocking him through turn 6 and 7. Bezzecchi's up by 68,000, so yeah, he's backed out of the lap time too. All the Ducatis are starting to block each other, and you can't keep away. Miller up, Bezzecchi up, but that surely can't be right because he backed off. Not a great start for Bastianini so far, says SHT in the YouTube chat. Here's Miller. Just getting a little wide. It's not getting complicated. It's getting to the point where you just don't know what's going to happen next. It really is a tricky situation. Quartararo's into the pit lane. Bezzecchi goes third. 1:49.007. Miller is 2 tenths up here. He's going to obliterate the time set by Pedro Acosta. Jack Miller to the top by 30 thousandths of a second. 1:48.649. Very good deltas. Yeah, okay. This is working. This is working. 1:48.649. 1:48.679 for Acosta as the entire field comes back into the pit lane for their mid-session talkabout. The tensions are rising here as Acosta takes a drink, throws it away. Let's see a replay then. This is Pedro Acosta on the circuit. Eyes focused. Knee down, elbow very close to the ground. Inches away. But very good. It's poetry. Sheer poetry. It's what we love. We're in the lull now, before the final ones go out. Miller, Bezzecchi, Quartararo, Antonio, they're all starting to come out now.
Fastest
Let's
on
check in
the
with TNT.
KTM back. And understandably, before you know it, you're getting new parts. Here we go. This is Bastianini's moment. There, look. It's a close throttle. He tips in. It's not much, but it's enough to... When the rear slides on a closed throttle, there's nothing you can do. So he picks the bike up. It means he's wide. Lap gone. Yeah, essentially. So, and then what it looks like has happened a little bit. They've just lost the way. Pedro's lost the way. The bike's been changing a lot. What you need is a stable base, something you can work from, so you can work on yourself. If you keep changing the bike, every time you go out on the track, it feels different. And then you crash. And then you make some more changes. And then you crash again. Before you know it, guess what? It affects your confidence. You get slightly lost. And that's why we're here. And it's a common thing you hear. We're going back. We're going to step right back to more of a base setting. We're running back round Jerez time. When if you think round that period, Pedro was absolutely unbelievable. Nearly got it on pole position if he'd not crashed on the last corner. And had quite a few podiums at that point in the season. So that's where they're going back to. And I tell you, with what we've seen so far with regards to race pace, it looks like it's working for Pedro.
So here we go then for the remaining parts of this session. 4:39 on the clock. Everyone heading out then for their second run. Multiple laps coming in. Can't see what tyres they've got hold of yet. If they have changed tyres, that's another factor as well to consider. Bezzecchi is changing tyres, so he's been done. Don't mind if I take a seat, do you? No, thought not. Thank you very much. So Miller 148.649. This is slow. Overnight rain has affected the circuit, of course. There's a very low grip out there. It's trying to heat up the temperature at the moment, but it's just not being as active as it usually is out here. It's not all staying it together. So just remember that as a factor. Away goes Jack Miller. He'll focus up, straighten up and fly right. Acosta in P2 still. They're all slipping and sliding out here. This is what a greasy track does to you. This will be the end of Q1 then, to decide the top two running order going through to Q2, and then positions 13 to 22 for the starting grid for the sprint and the Grand Prix. Quartararo under braking. Into turn 11. Nicely done. Flicks it back into 12. Uphill now. 13, 14. In the chicane. 13. 14. Back through 15 on the back stretch. And up towards the run now to the line. Front wheel almost twisting underneath it as well. Old front soft tyre for Quartararo. New rear soft tyre. That's an interesting little tactic to keep an eye on. Oh dear. And he's made a mistake in the last corner. Quartararo's going to have to go again. He's not going to make it. He will not be one of the two to go through here. Digi's 4/10 off the pace. It's Miller and Acosta at the moment. Binder's a 10th back. It's really close out there. I'd really like it to be Acosta and Binder, because I think that they've been showing pace over this weekend so far. They don't deserve to be in this session. Bastianini, on the other hand, P9, holding everybody up at the moment out there on the circuit. This is where Bastianini made a mistake last time. Down turn 6, doesn't do it this time. Acosta, though, trying to go around the outside. He wants to get on with the lap time. Bastianini's going to spoil it. Bastianini really is spoiling the party here for Pedro Acosta. He's trying to go through on the inside. They're practically racing each other on the way down towards turn 11 and 12. And then through still. Acosta can't get through. Bagnaia. So Bastianini going wide again. And Acosta's just really annoying him at this point. 28 thousandths of a second separating them. Bastianini annoying everyone out here because he won't get out of the way. Rins holding up Augusto Fernandez. Right, Acosta's let... Oh, Bastianini's let him go. Right, okay. Bastianini's let Acosta go. Fernandez gets to the inside line of Alex Rins on the brake as to the last corner. Hugs the inside line and then puts the throttle back. One more lap left then in qualifying 1 to decide the runnings. Come on, what have he got? Digi's up. Finally, a red sector time. Sectors 1 and 2, Digi is up. Is he up in Sector 3? He's got his teammate Marco Bezzecchi behind him. Up to the line, and Fabi is still up in sector 3. So this will be interesting. Old medium front, new soft rear for Digi. Into the braking zone for the last time. Uphill. Lap time cancelled for the 23 of Bastianini for track limits. Bastianini will not be in 10th position according to my timing screen. Digi goes third with 30 seconds to go. Acosta is up by 56 thousandths of a second. Digi misses out. Can't do anything. Acosta, he's up. Binder is up, but by fractions of a second. 56 thousandths for Acosta, 87 thousandths for Binder. It's fractions. Bastianini's down by 2/10. He's not going to make it. Binder and Acosta might still be the 1-2. Acosta is still fast. Binder's found 3/10 of a second, so is Acosta. These two are going to really hammer it home together. Downhill. What have you got this time for us then? Jack Miller goes fastest. Here's a 1:48.649. That time will stand as number 1. Bastianini's found some time in the 3rd sector. Not as much as Binder and Acosta though. 5/10 for Acosta, 4/10 for Binder. It's up to the line we go. Who's going to take the surprise in these sessions that we need to see? Across the line, Pedro Acosta goes top, and Ian Bastianini goes into 2nd position as well. We wait for Brad Binder, who's coming across the line now as well. Is Binder going to go through or not? Yes! 1:47.958. Miller 4th, Nakagami 7th, Augusto Fernandez 8th, Marini wins, Mia. So Quadraro's not going to improve, Digi's not, and neither's Mazzecchi. I think that's the game. Quadraro goes up into 6th position. Marco Mazzecchi's still up by 24 thousandths of a second. Is Marco Mazzecchi going to display Binder or Acosta at the line? No, it's 3rd. Binder and Acosta go through. And I got the prediction right. It's such an unpredictable qualifying session. I got it bang on. Binder and Acosta. I'm quite proud of that. I do know what I'm talking about here. Bastianini's out in Q1. He'll start 14th. It is a shocker for him, says SHG, yeah. Top 2, Binder Acosta, they progress. 13th for Bezzecchi, 14th for Bastianini, 15th for Jack Miller, 16th for Di Antonio, 17th Quadraro, 18th Nakagami, 19th Fernandez, Augusta that is, 20th for Marini, 21st for Rins, 22nd for Mia. Well, Q1 done. Let's see how many Potros happen with that. Let's see what happens next. I'm very happy that it was Binder and Acosta. 1:47.958. The all-time lap record was a 1:45.801 set yesterday in practice. Right, in a break now. Down to Susie.
Well, nobody quite called it. You almost called it, but Pedro Acosta, all drama, wasn't
Looking
it?
good, yeah. Happy as Neil called it there. Whenever you watch Pedro, it looks like Pedro from the earlier rounds of the season, back at one with his gas machine, and Brad Binder putting the lap time together. So 2 KTMs making the grid today in Q1, but tricky conditions. So they will benefit those extra 15 minutes as the track got grippier throughout the session, back into the 47s. The riders can take liberties over these damp patches, so they've got the intimate track knowledge, and Marc Marquez will take 1 or 2 laps to get up to the level that Pedro and Brad's going to start immediately. But beautiful shots, isn't it? The little kick back as he's accelerating up over the hill, but so in control, and gets the job done. So yeah, 2 KTMs getting through a bit of a tricky session it looked like for Bastianini, not able to make the grade. It did jump him up momentarily, but then bumped out again by Brad Binder, and then beaten again by Bezzecchi in the dire moments. So yeah, a KTM Q1 it was.
Yeah, this is the slow-mo going in. Just take a look at this.
You can see the little kickback. That will cost him a fraction of a second in acceleration, but he's right in the drift all the way into the acceleration phase. As he picks it up and the road rises up there, you get the kickback, the extension. It's those little momentary losses of forward momentum. That's where Ducati just gain a metre of track. And at the minute, it's only those slight small margins.
It really is. I mean, any question seems to me to be almost ludicrous, but Brad and Pedro there giving themselves the best chance on the grid. But for the likes of Jack, Fabio Di Giannantonio, Enea Bastianini, what did you think was going on there? That was disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. For Enea, it looked like he was having lots of little moments, so the bike not quite hooking up for him in these greasier conditions. He really struggled yesterday morning when the track was slick, and I think he needs the rubber to come back down. You wouldn't rule Enea out of the long race tomorrow.
Right.
23 laps, he can make his way forward, but over 11 laps this afternoon, starting buried in the pack. Into a tight turn one, it's pretty much game over. That is the importance of qualifying. So you're outside the top 12, and Enea now, 2 rounds ago, we were saying his championship chase is on, but you can't afford these little hiccups, and that's what sort of separates Martin and Pecco at the moment. They deliver every weekend. They're always in Q2.
Yeah, and that turn one is another conversation entirely. We'll have that one later on. But in terms of that session, obviously timing was important. You know, we saw Jack kind of miss slightly to be able to get that last hot lap in. How much of that was about bravery?
Yeah, a lot, actually, and yes, it's bravery, but you always, to do a qualifying lap, you're always sort of putting your brain in the toolbox a little bit. You just put everything on the line, so you have to take some risk, and it's just part and parcel of the sport. So we did know that the track was going to get better every single lap. The risk factor was yellow flags. We didn't have any there, so it was all clean laps. It was just unfortunate for Jack. If he'd have got across the line a few seconds earlier, he'd have been the last man on track and possibly could have got through. So it is another sliding doors moment just in a 15-minute session, but that gives Jack some hard work this afternoon. But he's had good pace this weekend, so hopefully he can make a good lightning Jack Miller start.
So finite, isn't it? Small increments that making the difference here in Aragon. As you can see, the sun is beating down now. The track is evolving and changing. I wonder how much that will suit Johann Zarco, who is the first Honda this year to make it through to Q2. It's incredible that we're saying that, Michael, but there we are. That's how it is. How will he get on? Let's find out. Lucio Cecchinello is with Steve Day.
Lucio, in a season that has been full of disappointments, I'm sure, how proud and happy are you to see Johann go straight through to Q2 here yesterday in Aragon?
Yeah, of course, we were all very pleased, especially, you know, it's very important to keep the team with the right motivation, Honda, the rider, and, you know, when you have days like this, you feel relieved, and you feel let's say motivated to work harder. However, we have to keep the feet in the ground, and we know that it's going to be tough for the rest of the season, but let's say that a small improvement perhaps maybe we have found.
It looks like Johann and you guys are flying the flag for HRC at the moment. You've been with Honda now for almost 20 years. Tell us that this is a sign of things to come and that there are more improvements on the way.
Yeah, of course. This is the result of many years together working with Honda. We are receiving the best support, we are receiving all the factory parts, we are receiving all the data, the material, and thanks to a good rider and I think also a good crew, we could optimize, and we could, let's say, we are making actually slightly better, but again, it's the route, the way is still a long way to go to reach the top. So keep the feet on the ground and keep focused and continue working.
Lastly, Lucio, provided qualifying goes okay, is a top 10 on the cards in the sprint race later?
I think it's going to be difficult, honestly, because you know, maybe yesterday a couple of good riders struggled with the new asphalt because the grip level wasn't that good. I think that you know, it will be good if we can finish the top 10, but definitely it will be hard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's fantastic to hear from Lucio Cecchinello. We don't hear from him very often because they're not at the pointy end, and it's been a long time since Cal Crutchlow, since they've had that time and that success. They had that win with Alex Rins, but it must be difficult for a team, Michael, to keep the positivity going when you're in the doldrums like they are at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a lean spell, but Lucho runs a great team. As he said, it's all about the motivation. Having Johan in there, he's a ultimate professional, consummate professional. He knows what he needs to do. He motivates his crew. He's working hard on developing those parts that HRC are sending through their team, and they're getting some rewards for it. So it's good to see. I love speaking to Lucho because he gives you that insight. He's built the team. He's very much the heart and soul of it. Works long hours, and yeah, we love seeing it. And all the success they had with Cal, we felt very much a part of that team.
Absolutely.
He really give us that inside track. So yeah, good to see things going in the right direction for them.
There's a scene here at Aragon, sun coming through. Looks a little more normal, like you would expect to see Aragon. We are expecting thunderstorms tonight again to come and clear the track, and all the hard work the boys have done putting the rubber on will be have to start all over again in the morning. Here's the man, though, who is, well, he's cooking, as the kids would say, but he's also cleaning. It's a clean sweep for Marc Marquez so far. He's been at the top of every single session that we have had. Of course, he's the king round here, but not on this bike. So it's really interesting to see him on this Ducati, looking the best he has on that bike.
Yeah, it's been a long time since he's swept a weekend. The pressure's on now to deliver pole position, but he is in the driving seat, looking good. These track conditions are perfect for him as well. He's not scared of taking a little risk or two. So this is going to be a lightning Q2.
Who's your pole man?
I think that is the man, Marc Marquez. I've got to go with Marc. He's the favourite.
OK, that's it. Let's go to comms then as the clock starts to tick. Neil is alongside Gavin. All right, then. He can only pick one, Gav. Who is it?
That's just ruined his whole job here, because normally he's got to pick about 7 people.
Since when? Can I only pick one?
You go to the front row again. I'm going for anyone in Q2.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I think you've got to look at Marc Marquez because, well, he was nearly half a second quicker than anyone yesterday morning. He was nearly 0.3 of a second quicker than anyone yesterday afternoon. Again, just now in free practice,
half a second.
He was quicker than anybody.
Half a second again.
So you've got to look at it. But the KTM runners, Pedro Costa and, well, Gas, but Pedro Costa and Brad Binder, who've just come through, do you fancy their chances of getting in the mix?
Yeah, there's probably about 5 riders that have got a chance. I mean, this man, if he can do a clean lap, he's been very, very fast, but you can't help but look at Marc. It's the first time, literally, since he's been on the Ducati that I've sat on a Saturday before qualifying to go, this is Marc's to lose pole position. He, in theory, he should set the fastest time with everything we've seen so far. So I'm going to go with Jorge Martin. There you go.
But he was on pole, let's not forget, in Jerez earlier on in this year, Marc Marquez, so it's not out of the realms of possibility he would repeat that today. I wonder, Martin has been on the front row this year 7 times, Bagnaia 5 times. Could be a situation where neither of those is on the front row, which would be pretty remarkable. Do
you know what I'd do as well? Obviously this won't happen, but I wouldn't be able to help myself. If I was Bagnaia, I'd make sure I followed Marquez out of the pits.
Obviously.
And just try to do something like Marc always does to him when Bagnaia's been the fastest all weekend.
It's not happened. He's got Alex behind him. In fact, Alex said yesterday, I know what the job is. It's to get behind my brother, as in, I need to follow his side of the garage. It'd be remiss not to take advantage of being in this position. Jorge Martin was quick, I will say, in free practice 2 earlier. He was the closest challenger to Marc Marquez, so we'll see again. That looked sketchy through there from on board.
It is, though. That's one of those braking on angle all the way. It's overloading the front, but you've got a lot of lean angle. You have to, and it feels that it's just a horrible skatey sensation. That's what
someone's down already, and it's...
Oh no! Down, down, down goes Jorge Martin! I don't believe it! Megan's literally just walked into the commentary box, put a headset on, and the championship contender in P2 has gone down. Coming out of turn 6, the front just dips away on entry, and he is down on the deck as he comes into it as well. And yeah, it just turns in, and the front buckles away underneath it. Hello, Megan.
Hello.
You're wondering it feels weird, don't you?
No, I was just checking for spiders.
Oh, right.
Given there was one dangling before. So
see, I was quite surprised there's the yellow flag's out, so everyone's lap time's going to get spoiled. I thought you were going to say, this is weird. I've rotated your ear cup. It started to have a couple of cuts on it, so I thought, oh, just quickly rotate it then.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, we have got Marc Marquez, Aleix Spargo, Matt Vinales, Jorge Martin, Alex Marquez, Pecco Bagnaia, Franco Morbidelli, Jan Zarco, Val Fernandez, Miguel Vera, Brad Binder, and Pedro Costa in this session. However, Martin is now going to be running back to the pit lane.
That's not very good. Every single time I see him this weekend, he's in the pit lane or just about to leave the pit lane.
Yeah, for a weekend we thought you're not going to be here much. You're actually now here for all of it again.
Yeah, I am. Also, I just did the washing up in 10 minutes just because I was like, right, I can't.
I can tell.
It's like, I can't not get this done. It's only several
Here we go.
glasses and a couple of bowls.
Yeah, lap time's being cancelled now for the yellow flag, so all those original lap times I'm expecting not to stand. So they're all going to go. Marquez, Acosta, Alex Marquez, Vinales. So I'm expecting them all to go. Jorge Martin's Nightmare in Aragon returns. He just lap time cancelled for everyone now coming through on the monitors. 2 lap times cancelled actually for Bagnaia for yellow flags. Marc Marquez already those 2 tenths fast on this lap alone. Marc Marquez absolutely in love with Aragon, a race he's won 6 times before. Megan, I know we've been commentating on this now since 2021 for you, full time. Me, I've been doing this for years. Do you remember Aragon, this track?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it? Always finds good racing.
Always reminds me of a desert or like some type of old movie.
Yeah. Have we been not coming? We were just not here in 2023, were we? We were here 22.
Yeah, I don't think we were here for 2023.
Yeah, so we've only been gone a year, but doesn't it feel longer?
It does.
Mark versus Bagnaia for the win in 21, yeah. Was that the last? When was the last time we were here? You were here in 21.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just all blurs into one these days.
Don't even remember half of it.
It's back to back though.
Probably why I don't remember half of it.
Omi's hosting the F1 pre-show while we do MotoGP. We come in, we do Formula 1, we go out again, and then it's a very long night. Marc Marquez blows the field away. 1:47.478. He's a second faster than Pedro Acosta at the moment.
Ooh, that's good. Acosta's been really fast so far.
He might be faster still across the line. 6 tenths down to Marc Marquez. Bow before the master has returned of Marc Marquez.
Yeah, but during the free practice, he was 8 tenths up
So
from
this
everyone
is,
else.
this is Acosta.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to ebb and flow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of them.
Mark has topped every session this weekend, though. Mark took the second session at the end.
See, it's his weekend.
Yeah, there's something about the GP23 bike that likes this circuit. Do you know what I think it is?
What?
This is the, as we see back now, 1:48.508. This is the only circuit on the calendar that we didn't come to last year, which means that the GP23 bike has no data for this track, but also means the GP24 bike has no data for this track.
Equal playing field.
Equal playing field, yeah. And I think that's what we're seeing with Mark. Because there's no data to fall back on, this is equal for everyone now on such vastly different bikes. And we're seeing Mark rise to the top. There's Martin back into the Prima Pramac garage. Thing is, do you know what I'm going to say here? Jorge Martin, fantastic rider. I still don't see him as world champion material.
Maybe next year.
It's for these mistakes. So he downshifted and the chain stopped. It's these small mistakes that I just watch. So he's, look, downshifts from third gear down to second and the front just goes.
That, he jumped off very quickly though.
Yeah.
By the way, what am I in today? Because I've still got so much to do. I've got ironing to do.
Always with the ironing.
Yeah, I do it best.
Yeah, but you had all that ironing.
Also, I think I have to put some things on
Listen
the
to
line.
listen to Jorge Martin getting the round of applause. The Spaniard here, the local Spaniard.
Woohoo.
You are in FP3, 11:30 to 12:30. The sprint race and then qualifying. So you finish at 4.
Right, when are these times?
Megan, yeah. Megan just knows. Actually, Jess and Jess. Okay, yeah. You haven't done an F1 session so far this weekend.
No, I haven't.
It's kind of important you sort of return today, even though you have been around all day.
I just feel so tired. Oh, I said of 6 today. I woke up at 6:30. Well, I did wake up at 6. So I was just like, I'm so
I
tired.
wondered why I didn't get in the bathroom until 7:30. You were dressed at 7 though.
Yeah. I went straight in.
Oh,
I just needed half an hour more.
that's what I needed. Do you remember me waking you up last night when I came back in?
No. What did I say?
I said, Megan, I'm up at 7. And he said, okay. And I said, no. And I said, you won't remember this.
I don't remember this. I still got you up at 7.
Also, we're
My
in the lull.
subconscious.
Yeah, we're in the lull period, by the way. That's why we're talking nonsense here. Also,
My subconscious remembered.
you were watching something on the television. I can't remember what.
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory, yeah. And I said, do you want me to press play? And you said, no.
It's like, let it go.
Yeah.
It's like, leave it.
So, and then you went back to sleep.
It's like, I'm not going to be awake for it anyway.
Out they come then.
What time did you get?
1 o'clock. 12:45 I got back.
Yeah, I went to bed early. I went to bed about 11:30.
Well, nothing got done, and I'm now slightly regretting what I did, but I've got a massive amount of time ago, so we're fine. I'm thinking I'm taking a nap.
I would suggest it.
Don't get to bed until 1 a.m. again today. Up at 6 tomorrow,
Why 6?
because I think the first race is at 7:30. It's one of those days.
Do you mean I've got to go and shower at 5:30?
No. I think, actually, I don't know. Well, I'll think about it. I might get up at 6:30 because the first one's at 7:30. That seemed to work today. I managed to get it all done in an hour. I've got to cook a soup.
Tonight?
No, tomorrow.
I was going to wash my hair tomorrow. I'll just wait till Monday. I can't be bothered.
Right, now we can stop all the nonsense because we've got to the action laps. On board with Jorge Martin on bike number 2, medium front, soft rear, obviously brand new. His first bike's in tatters, down here. Wouldn't it be funny if he crashed exactly the same point in exactly the same way?
Please.
He's coming up to that part of the track now. He's got through it. I wasn't hoping, I was just thinking it would be funny.
I was hoping. Because it would be fun.
Top order at the moment if you're listening to us on USON. 147.478 for Marc Marquez, he's top. Acosta second, but 6/10 back. Bagnaia third, Morbidelli fourth. Alex Marquez fifth, Ralph Fernandez sixth. Johan Zarco seventh, Miguel Oliveira eighth, Leishberger ninth, Maverick Vinales 10th. Martin 11th, Binder in 12th. We will have to set your laptop up tomorrow though, in my room as backup if, okay, say anything happens in MotoGP. So that we can hand it over to you and you can then go up and take over.
He won't.
No, I know, but you don't want to risk, do you?
I know, but still it won't.
And then we can just take it over to you and you can take over. Where's Martin going to go then? Across the line, it's P3, front row of the grid for Jorge Martin, despite throwing it down on the deck. 148.335. Good job. That was very Hobie one.
Good job.
He did have a plan B. Vinales, 2.3 seconds down at the moment. That's very much a banker lap for him. Marc Marquez, I honestly think he could just walk to Seville and it'd be on pole. But even with an old front, medium and rear soft tyre, he's still 2/10 faster than himself. This is a Marc Marquez returning to form.
Woohoo.
6 times a winner at this circuit in Aragon. He loves it. Absolutely loves it. Also, hope everyone got Oasis tickets this morning. 153 quid each, you know? They're cheap for tickets.
Yeah, but did you see the line?
Yeah, I did.
Fine.
I'm devastated. I would love to go to the Oasis concert. I'm saying it, by the way, because Wonderwall. The Aragon Wall. Maybe, do you know, I might redo the orbit for the intro and put it as the wall. I don't know why, but there's no 3D features here. Google Earth have yet to 3D this track.
Weird.
Into the braking zone. Look at Marc Marquez flying by Pedro Acosta like he was standing still.
That was close.
346 kilometres an hour. Martin has matched Marc Marquez's third sector time, but Marc Marquez crosses the line. It's a 1:46.766. He's 1.3 seconds faster than Pedro Acosta. Look at Martin. He goes second, but in the final sector alone, Marquez is 8/10 faster than anybody else.
Bagnaia is estimated to go to second position too.
He's out of the last corner now on the GP24 bikes, let's not mistake. Martin and Bagnaia have the GP24 bikes. It's up to the line for Bagnaia, and it's second by 8/10.
Woohoo!
Marc Marquez on a year-old bike is 8/10 ahead of the two championship leaders.
That feels oddly right.
Imagine what it's been like when Mark's on the factory bike next year. Mark is back.
World champion again.
Oh. 5 years to become world champion again.
What number would that make?
9 in total. Matching Rossi.
Woohoo!
He's already a 6-time MotoGP world champion, I think. 7 and then 9-time champion everywhere else. Hang on a minute. He had the Magic 8 ball. I can't remember. It's been so long. I can't remember how Marc Marquez championships has got.
I think it's 9.
6 MotoGP. 2 in other series. 1 Moto2, 1 125cc. So he's an 8-time champion. Acosta. Holding that inside line. Flags out. This is the end then. Who's got this run on the line? Checkered flag comes out. And Oliveira goes 6th. Pedro Acosta blows up to second position. Still 8. He's 2 thousandths faster than Bagnaia. Alex Marquez goes 5th. Brad Binder goes 6th. Martin stays in 4th position. He's been knocked off the front row. Martin will not start on the front row. Morbidelli estimated to go ahead of Brad Binder. But I think everybody knows the game here. It looks to be Marc Marquez. Out of the last corner. Anything from Franco Morbidelli? Can he?
Zarco's looking good.
Zarco is looking good actually as well. 337 top
Maybe
speed.
6th.
Morbidelli goes 6th. Zarco's out the last corner. He's still finding some gambit. Zarco on the LCR.
Probably just
Waited. 10th.
stayed.
But that's an LCR Honda for the first time this year into Q2, out qualifying 2 race winners.
That's good at least.
Aleix Espargaro and Maverick Vinales. Marc Marquez has put it on pole position by a scarcely believable 8/10 of a second to Pedro Acosta and Pecco Bagnaia on the front row of the grid.
Woohoo!
Anticlimactic, but that's massively good for Marc.
It is.
Sprint race later, it's him, isn't it?
Probably.
Come on, Marc. What have you got? MN93 from Gene Racing Club. Fantastic run around. So it's Marc Marquez on pole position for the Sprint and Grand Prix. Acosta, Bagnaia, Martin, Alex Marquez, Morbidelli, Binder, Oliveira, Ralph Fernandez, Zarco, Aleix Espargaro and Maverick Vinales, the top 12. Closing thoughts?
Matt's probably going to win.
Probably is, yeah. Listen to the cheer. Stands up, waves and cheers. Marc Marquez back on form, tops every single session and is on pole position for the Aragon Grand Prix. Join us later at 1:50 British Summer Time for the Tissot Sprint. Bye for now.